Sorry, Tennessee Titans. Write that check. They're going to be the second worst team in the NFL. Mike Vrabel's job, even though I don't think it's deservingly so, is going to be on the line. We'll let Sora go last on this one. Go ahead, Don. Get the Titans out of the way for me, my man.
Okay. Last year, I predicted the Titans 12-5. The Titans were 12-5. Another one of my good picks.
House money.
Yes.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Now, in the offseason, they said goodbye to Julio Jones. They signed Austin Hooper. They traded a 6th-round pick to the Rams and picked up Robert Woods.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of A.J. Brown. Sent him to the Eagles. Thank you. The Titans used the pick they got from the Eagles to get wide receiver Treylon Burks from Arkansas. And they even took a quarterback in round 3 with Malik Willis from Liberty. I know people gave the Titans a hard time last year, especially their defense.
But they were the number one seed.
The weird thing about that defense, the harder the teams they played, the better the defense played.
Interesting.
They were the number 1 seed. They held on to that without Derrick Henry.
And shout out to them dudes that didn't think Kevin Byard was still a good safety.
But they'll have a setback this year. They're not going to be 12-5. I got them at 10-7.
Oh my goodness! Okay.
Tying for the division, but losing the tiebreaker.
Over and under for Derrick Henry this year, Don.
You know what? I'm glad he's back, but based on the loss of the wide receivers, even though they got a couple more, I think there's going to be a lot more concentration on Derrick Henry. I think he's going to be in the 1,100-yard range.
Really?
Yep.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, we hope that he gets there. Treylon Burks is still a question mark. So, Coach, what's your predictions for the Tennessee Titans?
Well, this team right here is the most fraudulent team in the AFC South division. Most fraudulent team in the AFC South division.
Oh, my goodness.
My record prediction is 8-9. A.J. Brown was a huge part of that passing game.
Absolutely.
And that's the one guy that killed my Houston Texans over and over and over and over again. Every time Ryan Tannehill need a big play, A.J. Brown was always there to make that big play. Now, Derrick Henry, I think he's going to have a setback as well. 1,000% agree with Don. I think the defense is going to stack the box a lot to try to stop him and make Ryan Tannehill throw the football. Treylon Burks looking good for him, out of shape, leaving practice because he's not in the best shape, which means he wasn't really doing anything in the offseason too much to keep himself in shape. Yes, you got Robert Woods, and he's very good, but how is he going to become out after the ACL injury? The offensive line is okay, but again, they lost their security blanket, which is A.J. Brown, to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm glad he's up out of the division. Thank goodness he's up out of it. And thank my brother, safety brother, and Dunham from taking him away from the division pretty much. Even though we still see him this year, we still see him this year. We don't play him 2 times a year. That's the main thing. We see him this year. We don't play him 2 times a year. But that was the go-to guy for Ryan Tannehill when you need a big play down the stretch. The defense was very competitive. To get 9 sacks and still lose that playoff game, for Ryan Tannehill to throw that football away as he did in the first half, then coming out of the second half, then you get by the goal line and you throw it away again. I just think Ryan Tannehill cannot beat you with his arm. if he doesn't have anybody great at the receiving position. If he just doesn't have anybody great.
Right.
Now you got question marks. You do got Robert Woods, who's very good, but how is he going to come back after the ACL injury? How is Treylon Burks is going to get back in shape after not doing nothing in the offseason? The defense is going to continue to be competitive. They're going to keep them in a lot of games. Kevin Byard is a top 5 safety in the NFL. You got a good defensive line. Nico Autry, you got Jeffrey Simmons as well, who can get pressure on the quarterback. But the problem is it will be this offense this year because of a lot of attention is going to go on Derrick Henry, and they're going to continue to stack the box and make Ryan Tannehill beat you, just like he could not do last year. It was a couple of games that I looked at that when he looked at like garbage. He looked at like garbage against my Houston Texans. 4 interceptions in that game made him look straight garbage. I know Derrick Henry was out, but come on now. We was a terrible defense. There's no way in where we should have won that football game, but we made him turn the ball over 4 times. Last year against the Cincinnati Bengals, did not look good in that playoff game, but I say I got 9-8. I'm just not sold on this team, and losing A.J. Brown will hurt the Tennessee Titans, and it will put more focus on Derrick Henry this year, and I think teams are going to stop him more this year than what they did from the previous year because you don't have an A.J. Brown, or you don't even have a Julio Jones who can keep this defense honest. So that's losing them weapons is definitely going to hurt them. So I got 89, and they are the most fraudulent team in the AFC South.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Now, here's something interesting. The Chicago Bears were my worst team this year, winning 1 game. I have the Jets and the Giants winning 4 games apiece. Who's going to be the number 2 worst team in the NFL this year with a freaking collapse?
Not Tennessee.
At 2-15.
Oh my God.
Okay.
You know who I'm messaging right now, right?
Who? Gene?
No, Josh.
Josh left and then the collapse happened, man.
Yep.
2-15. Sorry, Titans. Treylon Burks is not the answer. Ryan Tannehill is going to regress. Derrick Henry is not going to look like Jonathan Taylor. Austin Hooper is not the answer. Robert Woods, suspect. The only bright spots on this team are Justin Simmons and Kevin Byard. Is that going to win you games? Absolutely not. Now, you might ask yourself, who are the 2 teams that they're winning against? They're going to start out on a 5-game losing streak. They get a bye early, which is terrible for them. So after the bye week, they're going to go ahead and beat up on Indianapolis. Going another skid for 4 games. Who's the team that they went against again? And a shocker. Cincinnati.
I thought this man was about to say the Eagles.
Right after that, lose to the Eagles, Jacksonville Chargers, Houston, Dallas, and Jacksonville again. 2-15. Sorry, Tennessee Titans. Write that check. They're going to be the 2nd worst team in the NFL. Mike Vrabel's job, even though I don't think it's deservingly so, is going to be on the line. And they're going to blame it on him because he did not want to get rid of A.J. Brown. And I think the frustrations start right there. And this thing is going to end up into a very toxic relationship. And of course, man, shout out to my man, Josh Caradima, man. Shout out to my boy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer.
He was the most important piece to that team. And now Missouri's going to have success because of it.
There you go.
Shout out to my man. Sorry, go ahead.
Nobody does film like Josh.
Hold on. Where's my thing at? Hold on. I gotta deflect something, bro. Oh, here we go. Like Macho Man Randy Savage said, he was a cream of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Oh boy. All right. The Titans, man. They're an interesting team. They are like both the Dantes mentioned, absolutely fraudulent team. I would go and add they're the most infuriating and confusing team to watch. Watching the Titans and Ryan Tannehill specifically is one of the most infuriating things I have ever witnessed. This man 1 week will go like, 350 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. And the next week, it's like this man has 2 interceptions, 1 fumble loss, and like a touchdown or something in garbage time or whatever. It's one of the most infuriating teams to watch. Yes, they lost A.J. Brown. Thank you, Titans. Derrick Henry's coming back. Feel like he's got something to prove. Hearing all this Jonathan Taylor explosion, 1A, 1B, you can fight it. We'll see it after the end of the season, I have a feeling. That being said, though, Don hit it right on the head with the record, but he and I had placements different. I had him at 10-7, but first in the division. Just because the AFC South itself is confusing. And
so you have them 10-7?
Yeah, I had them 10-7.
Okay. But they're the most suspect team.
Yeah, again, it's literally so confusing. And this all started on the and I can't remember what draft it was. This all started when there was that picture. It was the 2020 because that was when they were doing all Zoom. And when the Titans came to draft, you saw in the background there was a guy in a Frozone costume on the toilet. This is when the Titans' downfall all started.
Yes.
That is when this all started. They were
not the Frozone.
Yeah.
Still have that picture.
This is when it all started. AJ Brown absolutely safety blanket. Traylon Burks, that's like the mom. Can we get AJ Brown? We have AJ Brown at home. AJ Brown at home is Traylon Burks. It's like the Wish version. You got Robert Woods. That can be meh. That could be a somewhat of a decent safety net. And I know people are like, oh, Derrick Henry's still coming back. Derrick Henry has something to prove, and we keep saying, this year will be the year teams like learn how to stop him. Henry just has not been proven to been stopped. Sure, there will be some games where he'll get shut down, but Henry still is the number one. Yeah, that guy right there. But Henry is still like the number 1 or the second best running back. It's debatable, but with all that, and again, just looking at the redneck engineering that is the Colts, I think the Titans get lucky.
Facts.
And will win the division. But this has got to be the last year of Ryan Tannehill, and you got to get somebody who is not Malik Willis to take over the reins for that man.
Right.
Well,
maybe Frozone. I don't know.
Maybe Frozone, man. Maybe Frozone. But that rounds out the AFC South, man. I know we spent a little bit more time on that. That's because me and Coach are fans of this division, obviously.
I didn't even.
But
whoops.